Hello, everyone. I'm Father Scott Vanderveer here in the midst of the third week of Advent, a week that is usually dedicated to the topic of joy. Mother Teresa is one who said that having a joyful personality is the sign of generosity. It means that you're the kind of person who is willing to give some of your energy, some of your life force to others. Joy is something that many of us think is a byproduct of having things work out well in life. But the great social activist and Catholic woman and future saint, Dorothy Day, who started the Catholic worker movement, said that it's a duty to be joyful. We have the duty of delighting in our lives. God gave us life, and Christ showed us the full value of it by being willing to give up his own life for ours. So we have a duty to be grateful, to be joyful, to not waste opportunities, to live fully our lives. And if you're like me, the people who have made some of the biggest impression on you in your entire life are likely to be joyful people. Joyful people show, probably more than just about anything else, just how good and present God can be in the world, especially when you know someone who's joyful but hasn't always had it easy. I remember one time visiting a parishioner in the hospital. His name was George Seeger, and he was a truly joyful and holy man. He was getting near the end of his life and was really struggling and suffering in the hospital when I went to visit him. And as I went in his room, he told me that if a nurse came in, he was going to have to interrupt the conversation because he said, "My main job here is to make the day of the nurses. Nurses have a hard job," he said, "and I have nothing but time on my hands while I'm in the hospital. So my job is to make them smile and feel good." He was in the hospital long enough that I got to visit him there several times. And on one of the visits, he said, "Hey, I've been working on my obituary today." He said, "What do you think of this line here?" And he reads the whole obituary, gets down to this bottom line and says, "In lieu of flowers, go out and make someone laugh." Don't you love that? You thought he would say, "In lieu of flowers, give to the ASPCA or the American Cancer Society. In lieu of flowers, do this or that. Give a donation to the..." No. Go out and make someone laugh. You don't need to get flowers for the church. If you want to really honor me, George said, go out and make someone laugh. Which reminds me of another holy woman whose funeral I got to celebrate. Patricia Brosine, an amazingly holy woman, a single mom. After she passed, her kids found some notes in her personal belongings that just showed the true depth of her faith and what it was that got her through those many years of being a single mom. She was so gentle, she was so loving and kind that she would feed the deer in the backyard. A lot of us feed the deer. She would let them in the house. Can you imagine letting a fawn in your house? It never went that well, I suppose, but she just loved being able to be that gentle that she could coax a wild animal into trusting her because she was trustworthy. In her belongings, after she died, they found this written in her own handwriting. "If the grass always seems greener on the other side of the fence, maybe you should water your own." Don't you love that? That is the duty of delight. The duty of delight says, I have grass. I have a fence. I'm responsible for making full use of this life that I have. Every resource that I have is a gift from my maker. I'm not going to waste it. I'm not going to forfeit it. I'm going to live it. I was on retreat once with a priest who said, enthusiasm and laughter are the best indicators that a person is alive, fully alive. If they have enthusiasm and they have laughter, you know they have life. The other day I was in a checkout line and the woman in front of me had no life in her face. And as they were checking her out, she said, I know the manager, so I'm supposed to get a 10% discount. And the cashier said, oh, okay. I don't know anything about that, but can you tell me more about the discount? She said, I know the manager. And so she said, okay, you know Charlie? Yeah, I know Charlie. So the cashier very generously gave her the 10% discount. Now, my observation there was not that the discount was wrong or that she was stealing, nothing like that. It's just that after she received the discount, she said, thank you so much. And she walked away with no enthusiasm, no energy at all. And I found myself thinking, if we never take it upon ourselves to try to make someone's day better, we're going to wind up being net takers in the world and not net givers. She took a 10% discount. Forgive me if I'm being too focused on this one thing, but she took a 10% discount, which I don't begrudge her, but she gave nothing in return, not even joy for getting a discount. And I feel the desire to make sure that wherever I am, if I can't give you anything else, I will give you my energy and my presence. If I can give you nothing else, I'm going to want to try to give you my life force. I'm going to want to try to share life with you because God has shared it with me. So I don't want to hoard it. There was an author from the 1970s who wrote a book that had a line in it that I think sums it all up. John Powell once said, if you believe the good news of Jesus Christ, would you kindly inform your face? Don't you love it? If you believe the good news, if you believe that God's in charge of the world and that we are redeemed and loved and guided, would you tell your face? Because your face looks like this. Why can't we show with our lives that we are grateful that God chose us to be incarnated in the world? And we're grateful that we get to have experiences. If someone's grass on the other side of the fence is greener, we can water and fertilize ours. We have grass and we have a fence. I love that we have the opportunity to glorify God the same way that George Seeger did, by going out and making someone laugh. I love that we have the opportunity everywhere we go to try to make someone's day just by sharing the joy that comes from being alive. Now, it's honest and good for us to acknowledge that some people are in very painful places in their life, and it is very difficult for those of us in the middle of the worst season of life to feel enthusiastic when we're in the middle of real struggle. But that's where Dorothy Day's insight that even in the worst of times, there is a duty to delight really challenges us. Maybe you can join me in pursuing that duty. We have a duty to delight in life. And in doing that, perhaps it's one of the best ways we can honor God who made us. God says, I'm the Lord your God. You'll have no other gods beside me. We know that there's nothing in our life that hasn't come from God directly. So if we want to glorify God and bring joy to God, maybe basking in the joy that is our birthright is the easiest and fastest way to do that. I hope you have a joyful week of Advent this week, and I hope that you spread that joy through your enthusiasm to all that you meet. God bless you.